And welcome into this edition of ACAP Today for the week of April 25th, 2022. I'm Jason Parent with the Aroostook County Action Program. On this week's edition of ACAP Today, we're going to speak with three program leaders of different programs here in Aroostook County that offer supports and services to families with very young children. We're going to talk with them about those services, how to access them, who's eligible, and how they're working more closely together to ensure that more families can connect with their services. We're going to have that conversation in just a little bit, but before we get to that, we're first going to get to this week's news and information that you can use, again, for this, the last week of April 2022. And we begin with the news and information that you can use by sharing with you that our Home Energy Assistance Program, HEAP, is headed to your hometown, at least for 8 different communities across Aroostook County. We are launching the HEAP in Your Hometown program that will be in 8 different communities on Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the month of May. Now, this is a special opportunity for individuals to just walk into their local establishment. It's mostly municipal offices that we'll be hosting these in. These are for walk-in appointments. You don't have to have a previously scheduled appointment. And we're encouraging folks to do that between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on each of the following days. On Tuesday, May 3rd, we will be in Weston at the Weston Town Hall. On Wednesday, May 4th at Merrill at the town office in Merrill. On Tuesday, May 10th in Stockholm at their town office. Now on Wednesday, May 11th, we will be in Madawaska, and this will be at our own ACAP Fox Street location, where we will be holding an ice cream social that day as part of our 50th anniversary celebration. We'll talk about that more in just a minute, but we'll be doing HEAP intake program that day for those who walk in. In addition to that, we'll be heading to Allagash on the 17th of May, up to Eagle Lake on the 18th of May, and then we'll wrap up the month in Limestone on the 24th and in Ashland on the 25th. Now, these are communities that we specifically targeted so that we could be in those towns because we don't regularly do or infrequently do appointments in those communities, and we wanted to make sure individuals in some of our smaller communities were able to access this program. We're really encouraging folks to go out to have an appointment to consider this with the rising cost of heating. We estimate that about 2,000 more households in Aroostook County are eligible for the Home Energy Assistance Program, are just not applying. And so this is an opportunity for you to have an open access appointment through the HEAP in Your Hometown series. And we hope that we will see many of you at those various municipal locations throughout the month of May. So again, connect with us for the HEAP in Your Hometown outreach throughout the month of May. We also want you to celebrate with us. We're inviting you to celebrate with us again throughout the month of May, as ACAP is turning 50, and this is Community Action Month. May is, that is. So we will be at 4 of our larger locations throughout the month of May, and then on June 1st in Presque Isle. We'll share more about that with you in a little bit, but we're going to be on May 4th at our Fort Kent location at 40 Alfalfa Avenue in the Industrial Park in Fort Kent. On May 11th at 88 Fox Street in Madawaska, right next to North State Federal Credit Union, across the street from Marden's and in the shared building with AMHC. We'll be there again on those days from 2 to 4 p.m. We'll be at the Bowles Road location in Caribou as you're heading out to Limestone on the Bowles Road. Again, from 2 to 4 in Caribou on the 18th. And on the 25th, we'll wrap it up for May at 91 Military Street, our Holton location there next to Madigan Estates. They're all from 2 to 4. The ACAP team will be there celebrating our 50th birthday, and we'll have free ice cream sundaes available for you and tasty frozen treats as well. Our official birthday party is happening on June 1st, the day that marks when the Central Aroostook Community Action Agency and the St. John Valley Community Action Council officially merged on June 1st, 1972. We'll be marking that occasion 50 years later outside of our 771 Main Street Customer Service Office in Presque Isle near Walmart, with ice cream and cake. Birthday cake will be served on that day. We hope that you can join us for one or more of these celebrations, at least the one nearest you, throughout the month of May. And we look forward to connecting with many of you to celebrate at these events. We also want to invite you to one of our partner agencies events, and we'll be talking more with a representative from Maine Families in our feature interview today. But they are doing an event this week on the 28th, on Thursday, from 11 to 11:30, and it's happening virtually, so you don't need to leave the comfort of your own living room. The theme is Eat a Rainbow, and they will have this virtual story time where they will read the book, I Can Eat a Rainbow, and share activities and tips about making food, in fact, fun. So whether you have a baby who is just getting their first teeth or a toddler who wants to only eat chicken nuggies, and who of us have not had one of those, find a comfy spot right at home, and join a Maine Maine Families for this activity. Pre-registration is required, and you can use that link or go to the Maine Families website to get information on that, or email them at info@achf-me.org. Again, that's happening this Thursday, the 28th. We move on now to share with you another event from one of our partners coming up this particular weekend, and that's the Color Me 5K Run Walk for Hope. That is being offered by the Hope and Justice Project. They're hosting this public awareness event to strengthen the rights of victims affected by domestic abuse, crime, as well as support all victims of crime in Maine. This is happening during this week, National Crimes Victims' Rights Week. The kickoff for this event is at the Presque Isle Recreation Center, the Sargent Family Community Center at 24 Chapman Road in Presque Isle. There's a $25 registration fee. Registration happens from 9 to 10 on Saturday morning, and the run or walk begins at 10 a.m. For more information, visit the Hope and Justice Project webpage at hopeandjusticeproject.org, or you can call Tammy at the Hope and Justice Project. The number there is on your screen. We move on to talk about a program that we've been really stressing. We did it at the top of the broadcast with the Heap in Your Hometown event. But if you're considering a home energy assistance program appointment, or really are in need of assistance with fuel, and we know many families are right now, we encourage you to look at this income eligibility guideline, which is available on ACAP's website, that will show you what the income levels are. Now, the good thing about this is if you've made more than the income levels are there for your household in the last year, but there's been a shift in your income in recent months, including just the last month, we can just do as far back as a 1 month look back. So you may not have been eligible when the program started last fall, but you may be eligible now, and we encourage you to reach out. You can go to one of the Heap in Your Hometown events. You can call us directly at 768-3053 for an appointment, and we encourage folks to do that. Again, we estimate that there are potentially thousands more individuals in Aroostook County, households in Aroostook County, eligible for this program who just simply are not applying, and it's a shame, especially with the high cost of fuel these days, that you wouldn't apply to receive this assistance if you're eligible. In addition to that, if you are a renter and you're having trouble paying your utilities, as many folks are with the high cost of electricity, water, sewer, and other things, applicants can request help through the rental assistance program. You can go to mainrentrelief.com or give us a call here at 764-3721, and we'd be happy to help you apply. Again, this program for now is available only for renters in the state of Maine, though we will have more information on a homeowner assistance fund that's coming at the beginning of May, and how you might be able to get into that program. The Head Start and Early Head Start programs here at ACAP are currently registering, and we serve obviously the entire family by providing not only that in-classroom component for the child, but family supports around a number of things and how families can get involved in the program itself. It's a comprehensive child development program that serves families of children that are even prior to families before they have their child, all the way up through the age of 5. We do have Head Start services available directly in Caribou, Dyer Brook, Fort Kent, Holton, and Presque Isle currently, and beginning this year, we will be expanding those services to Limestone and Van Buren. And just a heads up, we do have more communities that will be coming on board as well by this fall, and we'll be making an announcement about that shortly. But for now, these are the program services that we are currently offering. But again, look for more information in the coming weeks on additional program expansion. If you want more information, call us at 554-4176, or to complete an application, you can go to the Early Care and Education page of the ACAP website. And we also want to just take a few moments to talk about COVID-19 and the ongoing pandemic in our region. Folks, Aroostook County is once again registering at the medium level for the number of upticks in cases in our community levels. And we have been told that those are highly likely underrepresented given the number of home tests that are going underreported at this time. So if you are in need of assistance at all with vaccination, if you haven't been boosted or vaccinated, you can go to maine.gov/COVID-19/vaccines to see where there's vaccinations or boosters available nearby you. You can also give us a call here at 764-3721, and we can help connect you with one of the services offering vaccinations and boosters. Now, there's also a free ride program through DHHS. The number to call there 48 hours in advance is on your screen, so don't let lack of transportation be an impediment to not getting that vaccine or booster. We also want to share that if you are in need of COVID home tests, they continue to be available. Go to one of two websites, covidtest.gov or accesscovidtest.org. There's available sets of 4 or 5 tests. If you haven't already registered, although on the covidtest.gov site, they did recycle and you are able to order a second set of 4 tests if you haven't already. And lastly, in terms of COVID news, we continue to offer COVID-19 community supports, which include grocery and meal delivery for households that are asked to isolate or quarantine, sheltering assistance for those who are asked to stay at home. Please do reach out to us if you are in need of these services, 764-3721, or you can go to the DHHS website at maine.gov and make a referral form directly online, and we will access that and deliver those services to you and your household. And we also want to remind folks, as we have over the last few weeks, that we do offer oral health services available to county youth across Aroostook County, youth age birth to 18. Our dental hygienist, Lucy Moore, is available to do screenings, cleanings, varnishes, and molar sealants. If further restorative work is necessary, she's going to connect you with a dental practice, and we can help connect you with a dental practice regardless, just for the continuing oral health needs of your family. In addition to that, Maine Care participants do receive these services at no charge. If you have that valid Maine Care ID card. If you are not a Maine Care participant, there's a $42 private pay cost. However, we will work with you on payment assistance if it is required, and no one will be turned away from services. So please do reach out to us if we can be of assistance to your child's oral health needs at this time. And lastly, if we haven't talked about something and you are in need of assistance in any way, please do reach out to us. We have a navigation program that can help connect you with the available services that are out there, whether they are part of our agency or other partner agencies in the community. We want to be there for you, especially in these challenging times, and we're happy to help and assist you in this way. And that's this week's news and information that you can use again for the week of April 25th, 2022. And as we mentioned at the top of the broadcast on this week's ACAP Today, we're going to have a conversation about services here in Aroostook County for young families and how those services are really connecting together to really support families in a holistic way. And we're joined on this broadcast by a familiar face to ACAP Today, and that's, of course, Rachelle Roy, who's the program coordinator for our WIC and other programs around nutrition services here at ACAP. Rachelle, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you. Looking forward to this today.
Indeed, and you've brought a couple of guests with you that are new faces to the program, but we're happy to have them to talk about how they collaborate and partner with you and the services that they provide, and how together you all provide services that do support young families in Aroostook County. Those guests, of course, are McCrossin, who is joining us from Maine Families, and Jessica Fowler, who's with Public Health Nursing, and how they all tie into this equation. So let's begin at the top of the interview by, first of all, each having you share about the programs and services that you provide to people here in Aroostook County. So Rachelle is sort of the return guest. I'll start with you. We've talked about WIC on this broadcast before. You also offer other services beyond WIC in your basket of programs, and of course, there's the entirety of ACAP behind you and those services. So talk a little bit about those services specifically for young families.
Thank you, Jason. Yes, we certainly do here at ACAP have a number of services here for ACAP for young families. But yes, today we specifically are here focusing on what a lot of our young families, young moms with infants children, what's available for them due to lots of other services around the communities not being available due to the pandemic. So WIC is here. Yes, we are a income-based program. However, our income guidelines are very high. So we certainly invite families with young children under the age of 5, grandparents, foster parents, guardians. If you're raising these young children, we're here to help with food, nutrition counseling, young moms who have never had a baby before and might need some information about breastfeeding. That's what we're here for. We're here to help empower them to make those feeding decisions and help them along the way, for sure. We certainly have, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, and there's a lot of services and programs just under that umbrella, let alone the entire agency. So I'll let you continue.
Yes, we certainly have the early care and education programs and that are available for starting at 6 weeks of age for childcare, and then right up through till they go to school. Those programs are all available. We have, and that's again focused on the nutrition piece where all healthy meals are being served. We definitely go through menu planning and the like, just to make sure that everything is going great. We have the oral health program here at ACAP, where we certainly take a look at all the different ways that families can get connected with a dental home. But if that isn't possible, we have a dental hygienist here on staff that does a lot of cleaning, screenings, and referrals right out so that care can happen. So certainly we do have a number of programs here. And then the young moms, they can be connected with whether it be needing help with rental assistance, heating your home, getting a job, or going back to school. Everything here is focused around the family and trying to make their lives better and just empowering them to make these great decisions.
So, and those services tie in nicely, Dawn, with the work that you do at Maine Families. That work, of course, happens statewide, but your team here in Aroostook County focuses on young families here in the county. Talk a little bit about the services that you offer so that we can provide a better understanding to our community in that regard.
Sure. We meet with families at a time that is convenient for them. We're currently providing our services virtually via phone or Zoom, but we are having some in-person options now, which is exciting. The service we provide, well, our family visitors are well-trained professionals. We're up to date on the latest early childhood and parenting research. We are also certified by the National Home Visiting Parents as Teachers model. And so some services we provide during our visits are developmental screens. We provide support around child safety and baby proofing. We connect families with local resources in the community, like WIC and public health nursing, like housing, employment, help parents get their license, go back to school if that's something they're interested in. We talk about healthy relationships and just knowing what activities are available in the community for their little ones. We also support families with setting goals based on what's most important to them. Our services are very individualized at the same time. We focus on the family, and our visitors can also help with breastfeeding. We're certified lactation counselors.
Right now, I know that we talked about this. Rachelle mentioned it a little bit in terms of guidelines for WIC and indicating that the income eligibility guidelines for WIC were higher than even most programs here at ACAP. Talk about eligibility for Maine Families while we're talking about the programs and services you offer. So if there's a family out there who just said, gosh, I really could use one of those services that Dawn mentioned in my family and are asking, do I qualify? So help folks understand, do you qualify?
Yeah, thanks. Maine Families, we're a free and voluntary program. If you're pregnant or have a newborn at home under 3 months of age, you're eligible. So there's no income eligibility requirements there. We recommend families enroll before the baby is born, though, because we like to provide support and education before the baby comes. Education around a healthy pregnancy, what to expect during labor and delivery, and ensure that they have everything they need before the baby comes, what to expect when they bring the baby home. Just those first few days at home are a whirlwind, so the more support they can have, the better.
Great. Now, Jessica, let's move on to public health nursing, because I remember, I consider myself an informed consumer, and I remember, gosh, 2 decades ago when we were having our children, that a public health nurse was very helpful after we had the baby home in both of our children. So talk about, I'm familiar with those services, but talk about the greater basket of public health nursing and what they offer to young families across Aroostook County and the state.
Sure. So public health nursing, we do provide virtual visits now, but we also are going in the home, and we can provide education, assessments on mom and babies, and breastfeeding support. We are CLC certified, so we can help with breastfeeding. We weigh and measure the infant to make sure that they're meeting their growth chart milestones, and we help with some developmental milestones. But most importantly, we really just want to empower families to be healthy and to meet their needs, their own specific needs.
Now, it looks like, just looking at this list here, it does look like it's sort of a partner. All of these organizations are sort of partners in the process, but it specifically is looking at a younger families, like newborn age families, or do you support, it says here, newborns and infants up to 12 months of age. So is it primarily focused in that first year of life?
We do primarily focus the first year of life. We would love to get some postpartum and prenatal, meet prenatally more, because if we can provide the education before they have the baby, I think that empowers families. We do also see some toddlers and older children for specific health needs, but mostly it is infants and newborns.
And now we did qualify both with Dawn and with Rachelle, Jessica, who qualifies for this program. Is this essentially open to any Maine resident after they've had their baby?
It is. It is available to any Maine family at no cost.
Great. So Rachelle, anything else that you want to add on program eligibility? I know that you touched on it in your comments, and I didn't specifically sort of go beyond that because there are other programs, but I guess you would probably advise folks to err on the side of caution in terms of ask, because you never know if you might be eligible. And in the case of WIC in particular, folks are often surprised to learn that they actually do qualify.
Yes, that's absolutely true, Jason. A lot of people think that just because they don't get Maine Care, which Maine Care is an automatic qualifier for WIC, the income wise, but a lot of families that don't even qualify for Maine Care qualify for WIC because they're within our guidelines. So that's the nice part of our program, is that it's a lot of working families that are still making a decent wage are still able to qualify and take advantage of the program.
So let's cover with all three of you now. We've talked about sort of who's eligible, and in most cases, it's surprising. I think folks are often surprised in terms of the gateway and entry into programs. And it sounds like the programs that you represent are not challenging programs to get services in, especially in terms of the public health nursing services, which are available to all regardless of income, and also many of the Maine Families programs. So talk about how you connect with those services. How do you apply if there's an application necessary or whatever? Rachelle, I'll begin with you, and then we'll move on to Dawn and Jessica to how you link up with these services essentially.
So quite a few years back, the state of Maine started a certain referral system called the Cradle Me referral system, where all three of our services were put on a form that could be given to providers, hospitals, social workers, any of the people doing any kind of health or relational stuff within the communities, and they could refer to us, all three of us, one of us, two people. And what it basically did is allowed us to start even more working together and meshing our services. A lot of times, we might all be working with a certain family and might work together to get them what they need, and to troubleshoot a lot of times, of course, all under written consent, but yes, they're all aware of it. But yeah, we work together to try to provide, what the family needs.
Dawn, how about connecting with your services? I mean, obviously, Rachelle talked about the opportunity to connect with all three at once as parents are offered, but how does that happen for perhaps somebody who missed that opportunity or somebody new who moves into the community? How do people apply and connect with your services?
Yeah, well, so yes, thank you. So in addition to Cradle Me, they can just contact us directly. We have a website, mainefamilies.org, and all our contact information is there. We have 3 offices in the county, so they could, if they're in the Holton area, they could call Holton. If they're in Central Aroostook, they call me, and then we have a Fort Penn office. But that's all at our website, like I said, mainefamilies.org.
Great. And Jessica, in terms of public health nursing, I know that connection, at least from my recollection, does begin at the time that your child is born, usually at the hospital, that those connections are made. But are there additional ways, or if you don't have your baby in a hospital here in Aroostook County or in the state of Maine, how do those connections and referrals and applications, if you will, happen to public nursing?
Absolutely. So very similar to Maine Families, if you are not connected via the hospital, you can just go to our website, Public Health Nursing, at maine.gov, and you can reach out to the Cradle Me referral program through there, or you can reach out directly to myself or my supervisor, and we can set you up with some services.
So you've all talked about Cradle Me, which is one of the many ways that you work together. Let's talk about some of the other ways that you partner and work together to make things happen and make things more seamless for families in Aroostook County. Rachelle, why don't you start with that?
Sure, sorry. Yes, I mean, there's been many instances where, we are working together to try to troubleshoot on how to get specialized formulas to families. We're all lactation counselors, like they had spoken earlier, so troubleshooting on feeding issues, even just getting who can provide certain resources, like for instance, Dawn might be able to help with baby proofing a household for a new family. A mom might be breastfeeding and worrying about weight gain for their child, so we might, give Jessica a call and say, they really could use a weight check. What is your availability? Those kinds of things, just to ease the minds of the families, but yet they feel like they have a team working with them.
Dawn, other ways that you really appreciate and benefit from partnering and working together with these organizations and others?
Yeah, well, just like Rachelle said, just troubleshooting together to meet the needs of the family. But I think the main thing that we do when we first visit with the family is we check in to make sure that they know about WIC and public health nursing, and so that they know that they can get all the services.
And Jessica, you work within state government as the public health nurse. So connecting with nonprofit organizations, community-based organizations like ACAP and Maine Families, is that a critical part of your effort? And how does that work for you to be able to collaborate with organizations, community-based organizations?
Absolutely. I mean, as Rachelle and Dawn both have mentioned, we all know a little bit about each other's services, but I think that we are, obviously know way more about our own area of expertise. So I may be able to help them, with some basic nutrition or basic emotional needs. But if they really need more than I can provide, I absolutely make sure that they're hooked up with those other resources in the community. And as far as, making sure that they're going to their doctor's appointments and have a doctor, transportation to the doctor's office, all of those little things. And we all work together and make sure that those little needs are met.
All right, so this next question, the last question that I have for all of you, certainly the answer would have been different a few years ago on this answer, but I imagine that hopefully it will evolve back to what it maybe looked like 3 years ago at some point. But talk about what happens when you have a visit or you have a contact with a family, and how you engage through your respective programs. And I know that that varies, because I know that there's, from a WIC clinic and Maine Families, in addition to some of the visit work that you do some group activities where you bring families together. Maybe you talk a little bit about and go beyond what you've already shared in some of your earlier answers about what a visit looks like, to give someone an idea who's thinking, gosh, I could really benefit from that service. Help me better understand what happens once I reach out and make that connection. So again, let me begin with you, Rachelle, on that. What happens in regards to a visit, an ACAP interface visit, a WIC visit, as it relates to that contact?
Sure. So let's start with a pregnant mom, for instance. When she were, come in for an appointment, of course, the first thing we do have to assess is income, just because we are an income-based program. So we assess that, and then we need to go ahead and assess for nutritional risk or medical risk. So we certainly do assess all the nutritional aspects of their diet, take a look at how they're eating, what, if there's any improvements they'd like to make, how we can help them meet those. We certainly go ahead and we do height and weight assessment as to monitor adequate pregnancy weight gain. And we also monitor iron levels. That's one of the things that we also check to make sure that their diet is giving them what they need, making sure they're taking their prenatals, making sure they're connected with a provider. And then we certainly hit on the aspects of public health, nursing, and Maine Families, because a lot of people don't have the understanding that we are 3 distinct programs that do 3 different things. They might think that WIC can take care of, we do assess for developmental things. However, Maine Families, that's more in their realm. Pregnant moms may run into issues with blood pressure. Jessica can assess that and keep an eye on that. Those are all, we complement each other in what we do, but we all do different things in that aspect. And, we see our people repeatedly, whether it be 1 or 2 months. And then once that baby comes, of course, we're doing the same thing with the baby and the children. So certainly taking a look at the whole family that way. And then assessing what other needs they might be able to take advantage of here at ACAP and in the community. It's not just a one-time you come in and we just talk about our program. There's so many needs currently in the communities, and there are so many resources out there that can just make these parents fly. So it's a good thing for sure.
Yes, indeed. Donna, Rachelle sort of gave a lead into that in terms of the work that you do developmentally with families and children. And I also shared that you do other things as well in terms of engaging from, helping families to engage with one another and with meaningful activity. So talk about what a typical engagement or a typical interaction with a family through the Maine Families program looks like.
Sure. During our visits, we do provide information on child development. We review milestones, and we bring an activity to do with the child. I have an example of one. This is a talking toy for a young baby around 6 weeks of age, because at birth, vision is their least developed sense. So they like black and white pictures, high contrast patterns, so they can just move it back and forth and see if their baby can follow. Babies really like it. Parents like it. It's something really simple and easy. Typically, it's materials they have at home already. So what we've been doing during the pandemic is we'll send the activity kits, or we'll just talk to them about how to do it. And now that we're going back in person, for some in-person options, we can bring the activity there. But during visits, parents can also ask questions, talk to us about just how being a parent is going for them. We believe that all parents want what is best for their child, and that their child's first and most important teacher. So we just want to support them in that role of navigating the ups and downs that come with being a parent.
Thank you so much. Great example there to share as well. Jessica, what does a visit with a family look like from a public health nurse within those first 12 months?
Sure. So right now we are doing different visits depending on what the family needs. We can do just plain phone visits where we have a conversation via the telephone. We are meeting with parents on Zoom. We are also, which we all prefer, I think, is doing home visits. So we go into the home and we do assessments on mom and baby, including blood pressure for mom, any postpartum assessments. We weigh and measure the baby, all those health assessments. And then it just really is individualized versus for the family. I can't talk today, I'm so sorry. It really is very individualized for the family depending on what their health needs are. And it changes with every visit.
And that, I think, is really a point that you've all really brought home, is that though there are certain things that you accomplish and that you set out to do with every family, every one of your touch points and your visits when you're meeting with that individual family is very much customized to answering their questions, meeting their individual circumstance. So this is by no means the work that you do something that's sort of just taken from a textbook or one approach working with a family, and that's the same approach you use working with the next. It really is customized to meet the needs of the individual family that you're connecting with and what they're asking and what their concerns and what's happening in their household at the time. Is that what I'm understanding from all of you, Rachelle? I know that that's certainly true in the case of what we do here with the WIC program, but that's what I'm hearing. Correct, Rachelle?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Jason. Everything we do, we want to make sure that we're meeting the best need of the family. So, and every family is different. So.
Well, it's great that you're doing that and working collaboratively to make that happen so that you can refer to one another and connect with each other's services to make sure that whatever that family needs at that point is being taken care of. Anything that we haven't talked about in this interview that you said, gosh, I really want to make sure that folks understand this of my service, of my program, of the work that we do and what we offer to the community that we haven't covered? Rachelle?
I think we've pretty much covered it, Jason. We're still doing a hybrid approach for most of our appointments. Some are on the phone, some are in person, but we're really looking forward to seeing all these kiddos again and seeing all the smiles. So.
And how about you, Dawn, from the Maine Families perspective? Anything you wanted to make sure you got across?
No, I think Rachelle said it perfectly. We're continuing to provide services as best we can and look forward to seeing little ones in person again soon.
Great. And Jessica, anything last information you want to pass along from public health nursing that would be helpful?
I think that Rachelle and Dawn have nailed it. Just excited to get back out there and start seeing these moms and babies and helping families.
And we're looking forward to that. I know across the board, all of you are looking forward to more of those in-person connections, and hopefully they're on the horizon really soon. Well, I want to thank you all for joining me, and most importantly, thank you all for the work that you each do and your respective organizations and coworkers do each and every day for families here in Aroostook County and across the state of Maine. It's great work, and it's helped, I know, sustain a lot of families through some very difficult and challenging days over the last couple of years through this pandemic. And I know that we're all looking forward to brighter days ahead and appreciate, again, the work that you all do. So thank you very much. Before we leave all of you, our viewers today, we want to just, as we do at this point in the broadcast, remind you of a couple of things. First of all, we here at the agency are continuing to look for great team members to join, folks like Rachelle. As a matter of fact, including a member of Rachelle's team, we are looking for a WIC nutrition counselor. It says out of Presque Isle, but really it's a position that works county-wide and travels on days up to the St. John Valley and down to Southern Aroostook to meet community needs in those regions as well. So if you're interested in that position or any of these listed here on the screen, we certainly encourage you to apply. You can do so by checking it out at acap-me.org. And as we do at this point in each broadcast, at the end of our edition of ACAP Today, we share with you a photo of the week. And all this year, we are sharing photos of the week from the past, celebrating ACAP's 50th anniversary. And we actually take you back in this photo of the week 20 25 years to this throwback snapshot of the week. And if you have happened to pass by the Braden Theater in the last week or so, you will notice that this old marquee has actually been changed into a new electronic marquee. But 25 years ago, that marquee was celebrating ACAP's 25th anniversary and National Community Action Week, which is in May, but has now bumped into Community Action Month, which is happening throughout the month of May here in Aroostook County. We'll begin discussions on Community Action Month on next week's broadcast of ACAP Today, as we're looking ahead to a lot of activities celebrating both Community Action Month, that's a national celebration, and ACAP's 50th anniversary, which really gets underway in earnest in the month of May and continues through the summer and fall months. So we'll be back next week with that special edition of ACAP Today. We hope to see you then. Until then, have a great week, everyone. Thank you.